Hello, you're watching My To Do About Something, and I'm Donna. Well, today is another day in the Three Rivers Challenge today, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I have planned for that challenge. I did not go shopping before the beginning of this challenge. I am truly going to eat from my pantry, from my freezers, and from my refrigerator during this whole challenge for these 2 months. Now, I do have 6 grandchildren, and they eat a little bit different than we do. So if all of their treats that I have here for them get gone before this month is up, I'm just going to tell their parents and let their parents pick them up some of their extras. And then that way, I'll be sticking to my challenge. We don't have a cow. We're here in the city, so we have a little less than a quarter of an acre lot here. And we cannot grow everything that we need. I don't have any animals besides a few chickens and some rabbits. That's the whole scope of our animals. And we're not getting too many eggs. It's in January here, so our egg production is down. I did not have room to freeze eggs, and the glass method the glass preserving did not work for me. Those eggs did not taste good to me, so I'm not doing that. So I'm just using what I have on hand, and I'm using my pantries and making meals from it. And I have been doing that since the 1st of January. You may have saw my video on the 1st of January where we took the dried black-eyed peas, the side meat from the freezer, and cornmeal that we had on hand, and made the cornbread, and we used canned greens. I didn't go buy fresh greens or pick fresh greens because I was using what was in my pantry. So that's my rules. I'm going to try not to shop for food during this whole January and February and just eat solely from our pantry. And of course, that's nothing new to us. We do that a lot. We eat from our pantry and our cabinets and refrigerator and freezers a lot. And when my money was tight, that was the kind of thing that we did often. Well, it is a beautiful day today here. It is beautiful to be January. The sun's shining, and it's just as beautiful as it can be out there. And they're calling for it to get a little colder. So it's a good time for a challenge to be snuggled in and just eat what you have on hand. And so that'll be what we're planning to do for the next couple of months for January and February. My rules are just to eat from my pantry as much as I possibly can. Well, let me go up there and show you what I got going on. David is here, and he's in here, and my little grandson, he's eating his lunch, and he's watching some animals on TV, so you'll probably hear him in the background. This is our little pantry that's right here off of the kitchen in our little dining area here. And in this pantry, we just have things that we eat on a regular basis. There's just a few things in here that I have so that I don't have to run all the way downstairs to get them when we need them. There's some extra, dishes and things like that, serving dishes and stuff that I store up here on top because that light gets pretty hot, and I usually don't put food on the top shelf. And then I have oatmeal, trail mix, crackers, some sprinkles, raisins, and bacon things are in here. And there's 2 layers of things. So when I move this first container, you will see behind I have another layer of baking ingredients and stuff. And of course, these are just some pastas and things that we have in here. And I have some things for the kids. Our cooking Instapots and those kind of things are right here on this shelf. And some pasta back here. And then I have freezer bags and condiments and different things just stored down here on the bottom shelf. So this is our go-to, get it quick. That's essential oils that I use here in the kitchen. So this is our little pantry that we do that with. And it's nothing more than a closet that was in this room. So it's not anything fancy. It's just a little closet here. When you come in here in the dining area. Now down here in the basement area, what used to be one of my son's rooms when they were teenagers, when they were at home, we've converted this into a long-term pantry. And what this does is just have shelves. It has shelves of our canned goods in here and some other storage. We've got other things stored in here too. It's just become a storage area We don't have very much room in under a quarter of an acre. There's not a lot of space here. We have one building that Donald puts his lawnmowers and those kind of things in, but in general, this is just our long-term storage for our canned goods. Of course, we have our canning lids and our canners, and down and up under here is the pressure canner. We have extra jars and things. You know, I make tinctures, I recycle jars, and I have those. And then there's some storage for other things that we use. Right here is a big stack of bowls that we have when we're cutting up all of our produce, all of our vegetables, and all of our fruits. These are the bowls that we use. And you would think, well, why would you need that many? Because when you go and buy in bulk and you start processing your food, you're going to have something to put them in. And these are the things that we put those in. And it's just storage in here, and it's our long-term food storage. So we will be eating our canned foods, and there are 2 layers of shelves here that are full, and we don't have quite as many as we used to. We've really been eating a lot of this food, and so there's not that much to work through. It may seem like a lot, but it's not really that much. I am cooking bacon out of our freezer. I laid some bacon out and let it unthaw in the refrigerator last night. And so I have got bacon here that I'm cooking because our kids love bacon. Our little grandkids love bacon. And it's something that you can cook ahead and put in your refrigerator and use in other dishes. Good on sandwiches and different things. So I'm going to go ahead, cook this pound of bacon up, and just have it on hand. For today's dinner, I'll be making beans and rice. That'll be what I'll be making for us for tonight. And of course, you know with that beans and rice, there'll be plenty of seasoning. There'll be plenty of good meat in there with that, with those beans and rice. Get all this turned over here. I'm going ahead and cooking this bacon in the same pot that I'm going to put the beans in. And I'll probably use some of this bacon to season the beans, but I do have ham that I've laid out of the freezer that needs to be eaten in a timely manner. So I'm going to chop this ham up and put it in with these beans as they cook. Now these little pound of beans we got in our fruit basket from Donald's mama for Christmas. She got us a fruit basket, and of course it had this year's pinto beans was in there. I think these are 1 pound bags. I'm going to go ahead and cook up both of these 1 pound bags. I'm going to put them in this pot and cook them up. And there will be leftovers. And with these leftovers, I'll make other dishes. I'm looking forward to the pantry challenge because there's a lot of things that I'd like to just see go ahead and use up in my pantry. Of course, we count these beans right here as a meal because they'll have protein in them from the seasoning that we add. And then they'll have plant protein from the beans. I'm just going to go ahead and go through these beans. Make sure there's no rocks or dirt clumps or any rotten beans or anything that's not desirable. This will just take a few minutes. I can get them washed up and go ahead and plan to put them in the pot. Let me go ahead and get this bacon out. we do not have room enough on our small acre, quarter of an acre here to have a cow or really goats either. We have one dog out there, pretty good sized dog, and we have rabbits and we have chickens, and that's what we have as far as animals go on our little micro homestead, as I call it. But that's okay because we do not want to eat a lot of dairy anyway. I love cheese, but it does not love me. I still eat cheese, and I have plenty of it in the freezer and in the fridge that I'll be able to use in this pantry challenge, so it's not going to be, like really going without. I cut this bacon in smaller pieces because, we just don't need that big, long strip of bacon. Go ahead and continue to cook that. Go through these beans and get them washed up. So that they'll be ready for dinner today. Now, for some reason, 2023 has already been really hectic for us. We've had a lot going on. We've spent a lot of time with family. I've had the kids a lot. So it just seems like we have been just really, really busy. You have to eat. So you always have to plan and work in your meals. Get these beans pretty washed up. Go ahead and cook up this bacon. And warm up this ham, and I'll put the beans in a pot and get them ready. Let me go ahead and get these onions in here. Putting them in the same grease that I cooked the bacon in. I cook onion with my pintos. I love the flavor it adds, that it adds to the soup and the pintos. But I will have to cut up some fresh onions on the side and have them like this because Donald loves fresh onions on top of his pintos too. You can't go wrong with the onions this time of the year. They're good for you, good for cold and flu season. So I'm going to cook these down just a little bit right here. And I'm going to go ahead and chop the ham up too. This is some ham that we needed to go ahead and eat up out of the freezer. That's quite a bit of ham. That's going to be quite a bit of ham in this. Normally I wouldn't use that much ham, but I am going to go ahead and use it this time because it'll make the meal more meaty, more substantial. Get all that good flavor from that bacon down there, and go ahead and brown this up a little bit and add the beans and the water to the beans. I go ahead and always salt my beans before I cook them. That's controversial. A lot of people have a mind that it toughens the beans, and I've never found that to be the experience for me. They just taste so much better when you salt them. This is a big pot of beans. I'm going to let these cook probably about 2.5 hours. So the beans are done, and of course you can put any kind of spices or seasoning you'd like in these beans. I'm not going to put anything on them. I like them just like they are. And I was going to make rice, but Donald said he preferred cornbread, and I still had cornbread made from the other day. So I certainly will save the rice and just go ahead and fix him his cornbread. And of course that's an onion from the pantry, and this is relish from our cannon pantry. Sorry for that noise. That coffee pot is on. That teapot is on. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper. Which is something we always have on hand. And that's our lunch from today's. Sorry about that. I had the bright light on. But that's our dinner today from today's Pantry Challenge. Thank you for joining me today. And like always, until next time.